Hello, Jessica Frost-Ballas here, and welcome back to my YouTube channel. Today I'm sharing an easy way to stretch your dies and add interest to die cuts with ink blending and heat embossing, so let's get started. I'm using the Lovely Layer Sunflower die set, and I die cut the top two layers with a pale yellow cardstock, the bottom layer with a slightly darker shade of yellow cardstock, and the flower centers from brown cardstock. I want to add more dimension to the cardstock, so I use blending brushes to lightly apply distressing to the die cuts. I use squeezed lemonade on the top layer, scattered straw on the middle layer, and mustard seed on the bottom. You can tell the order of the dies because as you build from the bottom up, the dies get more detailed. I focus my ink blending mainly in the center of the flower and the bottom of each petal, allowing the natural cardstock color to show through on the tips of the petals. For the flower centers, I take an E49 Copic marker and add dots of color to the center of the bottom layer and around the edge of the top layer. Then I take a Versamark pen and apply tiny dots around the edge of the top layer. I heat emboss them with gold glitter embossing powder for a little extra sparkle. Then I decide to blend even more ink onto my flower petals for more contrast. I really like how these turn out with the heavier ink blending. Then I layer the flowers together to check out my ink blending and decide if I'm done. There's a cluster of 3 petals on the bottom layer that makes it easy to line up the layers by searching for that cluster of 3. Once I line everything up correctly and I'm happy with it, I adhere the flowers together with liquid glue. I only adhere the flowers together by the center of the flower. I leave the petals unattached so that I can curl them up later. Then I place a heavy acrylic block on top of them and set them aside to dry while I work on the rest of the card. Next, I stamp a sentiment from Thinking of You Big Time onto the same dark brown cardstock as the flower centers with Versamark. I heat emboss it with the same gold glitter embossing powder before die cutting it with the coordinating die. I also die cut a panel of craft cardstock with a quilted cover plate die and adhere that to a top folding card base. I arrange the flowers around the sentiment and adhere them with regular ATG adhesive. Then I trim off the overhang but keep it to add back to the card. I adhered the sentiment with liquid glue and then arranged my leftover flower half onto the panel. I love that you get the look of 3 flowers for the work of just 2. I trim off the overhang and then carefully curl up the flower petals with my finger for a little extra dimension. Finally, off camera, I apply a thin layer of Nouveau Crystal Glaze around the outside ring of the flower centers for a little extra shine that really brings out the gold. And that's it! You can find more information on the products I used in the YouTube description below. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up, and I'd love for you to subscribe to my channel. If you do subscribe, make sure you click the bell so you're notified the next time I post. Here are a few more videos you might be interested in, and until next time, have an amazing day and happy crafting. Bye!